Hey guys, I'm back here again. Got another quick follow-up video for you with the Ryobi machine here. The customer did authorize us to have the machine repaired, so we went ahead and repaired it over here for that. This is the Ryobi pressure washer with the Honda engine on here specifically for that. It had the GCV 190 overhead cam engine, and there's the Ryobi designation right there as well too. The client needed the following work done to it over here. The fuel tank had to be cleaned out. The tank line needed to be cleaned out. The filter is in the fuel line on these machines. So basically, whenever you pull the fuel line off the machine from the tank right here, the fuel filter is up inside of the fuel line itself right here. For that, so you have to be careful when you pull it out of there because they don't have a screen in the base of the tank right here, as some of the Honda lawnmowers do out there for that. So there is a difference between the typical generator or pressure washer machine versus the lawnmower out there as well too. So if you have a pressure washer, like this one right here, typically your fuel filter will be up inside of your fuel line right about here down inside, or it'll be sticking up probably about 2 inches down inside there. So you want to clean that thing out as well too before you put the machine back together when you're doing the fuel system cleaning on the job here for that. So we had to do that, clean a fuel tank, line, filter, need a new carb on there, plus I need a new air filter on there as well too. Got a new air filter, new air filter, because I think the guy dumped the thing over or something like that, so we got a new genuine Honda air filter right here for that. They do make two different types of these air filters out there. They make the like this greenish color right here, and the other one they make is like a slightly cheaper version. I prefer this one right here because this one seems to hold into the air box better versus the cheaper one out there for that. So they do have two different types. The one has like a white media with like a pinkish orange plastics outside on here, but I don't personally like that one. This one holds into the air box better right here for that, so that's why I recommend using the green one. It also has the filter part number stamped on the outside of the piece right here, so you can show you that right there. So you do have the part number right there. Let me see if I can get a better shot here, zooming in here. Let me see if I can get up on the ground here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, zoom in here. There you go. There's your part number right there, guys. So they have a part number on the top there. I'll put a link at the bottom of the page for all the parts anyway for this job, so you can have the air filter carb on here. We had to replace the carb on here as well too. Carb intake gasket on here as well too. You always have to replace the intake gaskets on these machines because if you don't, they tend to stick to the carb or they tend to stick to the manifold. So it's always a good idea to replace them as a piece, because if you take the carb off and things like stuck to the intake manifold gasket on there for that, more than likely, and you put it back together with no new gasket, there might be a chance of an air leak system on there for that. So that's why I strongly advise to replace the intake gasket. They're only about like 80-90 cents out there for that, so it's relatively cheap. So we also did the new spark plug up front and changed the oil out here as well too. Your oil is relatively simple to change. You just run for about 10 minutes outside, then just dump it over and drain all the oil out and do that. So oil is good in here now. There's your oil, looks great, no problem with that. We put Mobile 110 W30 back in here because we don't know when this guy's going to be using the machine again. So we recommend just using like a standard, a standard type of oil out there for that, because 10 W30 is like a universal type for most of these Honda machines that are for that. So it's always a good idea to do that, we don't call that specification for the oil right here for that. So we also did adjust the idle on here as well too, because the thing would not idle correctly. They have this goofy design on these machines, so I'll just be totally honest and frank. I don't like it. I don't know why they have it, but they do have it on some of these machines. They call it a idle down feature on here. You get the front logo right here, it says idle down, and what that consists of is a cable. This cable right here. Cable goes all the way up to the linkage for the governor system right here for that. So I'm saying to hold this thing up here and show you that. So what happens is this thing pulls back when the machine's running out there. I'm going to give you a shot of that right here. So you see this little rod, or a little cable down inside there. Let's get better. This stupid light don't want to work, sorry. You got the governor spring connected to that rod down inside there. See that little rod with the little gold piece in the front, as opposed to having it up in the original default position, which is that small little hole right here for that. That's the preferred location right here for that. But they have this stupid idle dyne feature. They claim it's supposed to be cost effective to make the machine run at a slower speed when it's not being used, so you'll use less gas. However, because of that design, it can cause your machine to stall out if it's not working correctly. Therefore, I really don't like it, but I can't do anything about it. And if the customer wants it, overridden, you can't override it. All you do is just take the spring off right here. Take the spring off, and you put the front piece of the spring up inside this little hole right there instead, and you can basically override this stupid idle kick down feature. What happens is when the machine's idling down, it just pulls it back on here for that. So we'll show you how the machine functions here when the machine is actually working, so you can see the effects of this cable system on here for that. If there's some kind of problem when the machine's running too slow out there for that, you can adjust it on here. You have a linkage. Let me show you right down here. The cable, let me get a better shot here, sorry about that. The cable is adjustable down here, so you can adjust the cable by moving. You see that little bolt on the top right down inside there. You can adjust it by moving the cable in and out of the connection. The little plastic box, it's sitting on that little white thing. So what you do is you unloosen the bolt on the top, and you move the cable in or out of the top of that black housing right there, and it will adjust the idle speed right there for that. Or you can also adjust the idle speed by adjusting the linkage for the governor itself right here for that. So that's your two options to adjust the idle speed on the machine. So we'll go ahead and fire it up here for you. And bear with me here for a couple seconds. I have to drop my camera down here so I can show you what's going on here. So bear with me for a couple seconds here. So put this thing on. Hold on, guys. Okay. Okay, I'm back here again, sorry about that. So we'll show you how the machine functions right here. That's how it's idling right now. It's idling around around 21, 2200 RPMs right now because of the pullback feature on the idle speed system right here. We'll go ahead and show you that right now. Okay, let's put this thing up here. So there you go right there. That's let me get this thing out of the way. Sorry about that. This thing's in the way. This stupid crap out of the way here. So there's your low speed setting right there. For reference points, the gold brass piece is not being pulled against the cable on there, so that's the default position for the low speed idle. Okay, so we'll go ahead and gun the engine up here. You can see how it's functioning under a full load. Choke's off, that's on, okay. Go ahead and turn the gun on here. This thing sits away there, so you get one-handed. Spraying good. Off, looks good. Go ahead and show you what it looks like. There you go, see? Just like that, it goes off. And there's a shot as well through here, hold on. So whatever the gun is engaged for the piece right here, your pistol grip, the brass piece is pulled against the cable right here for that. So that's how this machine idles down correctly. Right now it's in the default low speed setting. So we'll go ahead and show it again here when it's under load. Sorry about that. Way again. We got a real stupid system on here. Try to get here for you guys. So that's how it works right there for you. Get it shut off here. That's how it works on this one specific machine, I should say, the GCV 190 on the Ryobi. What's it called again here? It's idle dyne feature. Use your logo in the front right here. GCV 190 idle dyne feature on there for that. Like I said before, you have the cable that goes all the way down to the bottom of the pump unit down here. Right down there, you see the other piece right down there. That's your valve, and engages and disengages on the actual unit down there. So that's what it looks like, and that's how it functions. So if anybody has any comments about that, you know, feel free to drop me a message here, and we'll try to get back to you within 24 or 48 hours with some kind of a basic answer to your question, if you want something answered quickly or something like that. So I'll put a link at the bottom of the page for all the pieces we do on here, like the air filter, spark plug, the carb assembly, intake gasket as well too, guys. So I'll see you. Have a nice day.